Where are we walking to? Hello everyone and welcome to Fletcher Farms Amarillo. I'm Julie Fletcher and Anna and I were just taking a walk. It's been a long couple days. We've had a bunch of rain and we weren't able to take a walk for the last couple days. So Anna is excited to be getting out and walking around and doing some grazing. Yeah, I know. Are we excited? Yeah. But this video is going to be about the Farrier. So last weekend we had the Farrier come out and she took care of Anna's hooves. As I suspected, it was a bit of a challenge because Anna doesn't have any strength in those back legs and standing on two legs was a bit challenging for her. But we got her hooves taken care of. Well, we got the front hooves taken care of. So a little backstory on the Farrier. We had a really difficult time finding a farrier that would work on draft horses here in the Amarillo area. So we finally found someone. Her name's Cami. She is our farrier and she does a phenomenal job. She works on draft horses and travels all around. She absolutely loved the fact that we had a stock and that the horses could go right in. The problem is that the horses just don't like to lift their legs in the stock. Obviously all our horses are older, so it's difficult for them to stand on three legs just by themselves. Trying to clean their hooves out or anything like that, it's difficult for them because they don't have the strength like regular horses do, and they have a lot more body weight than a regular horse has, and they're just bigger animals. So it's very difficult for them to stand on three legs. So the stock does help them and they have something to lean on, but it's just still difficult. It's still a difficult situation. So the first time that we had their hooves done was in March, and then she was out again, I believe it was in August. So they will be due again, probably in a few weeks to get their hooves done again. But it's always a challenging situation, so I'm going to include video in here of their first time with the Farrier and how it all went. So before we got the horses here, before we actually closed on the property, the original 6 stayed at Bowie, Texas Livestock for about a month. So we had a Farrier go out there because their hooves definitely did need a trim. The Farrier went out to the livestock yard and took care of all their hooves. And then once we got here, like I said, we had a hard time finding a Farrier that would work on a draft horse in this area. So we finally did find somebody and she took care of all their hooves. But this was the video from our first time experiencing having their hooves done. And it was definitely a challenge. So this is a quick anatomy lesson of a horse's hoof. A horse's hoof is composed of 3 parts: the wall, the sole, and the frog. These are the weight-bearing structures of the horse's foot. The hoof wall grows about 3/8 of an inch per month. The wall of the hoof is composed of material that's continuously producing and must either be worn off or trimmed off. The hoof wall does not contain blood vessels or nerves. The wall is part of the hoof that's visible when a horse is standing. It covers the front and sides of the coffin bone. The wall is made up of the toe, which is the front, the quarters, which is the sides, and the heel. When the foot is lifted off the ground, the sole and the frog are visible. The frog is triangular in shape, a highly elastic wedge-shaped mass normally making contact with the ground first. It extends midway from the heel towards the toe, covering around 25% of the bottom of the hoof. The frog acts as a shock absorber and grip tool on hard and smooth ground. The frog also pumps and moves blood back to the heart. So this was the first time getting Cami into the stock. Now, the horses just don't like to yield their legs, so it's very difficult to get them in position for the farrier to actually work on their hooves.
All right, there we go.
Good girl. Yeah, that's a good girl.
And then once they yield their legs, they just don't want to stand on 3 legs because it's so difficult for them. Especially for Cami, since she has the problem with her pastern bone, it's just so difficult for them to stand on 3 legs. And our horses are extremely stubborn.
Closer.
Easy. If somebody wants to stand at a head,
Yep.
you stand at a head.
Yep.
There we go.
Easy. Hold on.
Once we got Cami settled down, we actually were able to work on her hooves. So she's cleaning out around the frog right now. Cami had a lot of overgrowth on her frog since it took us so long to find a farrier, and they were just really, really long at this point and definitely were in need of farrier service. Since there was so much overgrowth, she's actually just trimming her frog right now, and you can trim the frogs. You don't really want to always trim them, but if they are too long and they're over where her hoof actually is, they do need to be trimmed. So we don't do that every time, but this time they definitely needed to be cut back. She got the excess frog cut off, and Cami was actually starting to get a little bit of an abscess at the top where her frog connected. So we did get that taken care of as well. And now she's just going around her hoof and getting all the dirt and overgrowth off that was in the sole of her foot. So she just goes around and takes all that off, and then she goes and trims the hoof after that. She's also exposing the wall of the hoof so she can see that better to trim it and get it filed down. Look at that. That was where the abscess was at.
We'll get you battered. Batters. Yeah, I know.
Do we have to put anything on her foot, like wrap it or anything?
No.
Okay.
This will just dry it up.
Okay. It's okay. She's gonna make your foot better.
All right.
We let that one down.
So she put some iodine disinfectant on her hoof right there where she had the abscess starting.
And there we go. 2 feet are done. And so this is what we took off the front foot, and why Cami was having probably a little bit of problems walking. So this is the frog, right? This is the frog.
She's gonna move around a little bit, and then it says.
There we go. Corey, we gotta get that other strap through here. Where's the other strap?
Oh yeah. There we go.
I need to get. Where's the other strap?
I got it. Now that she's actually standing on the hoof on the front, I think she's more willing to give up the back.
So do their frogs really grow this fast?
They can. All of them are different. Some of them don't grow much. Some of them will get excessive frog. It's just
Right, it depends on the
kinda like
horse.
we are with-
Gotcha, fingernails.
Yeah.
Well, we never know. We didn't really look at them when they got here, too.
No.
We saw them what the Farrier and Bowie did either.
Right.
So she'd go around and clean her sole off. So that's the white part that you see on the bottom of her hoof now. And now she's going around the outside and actually cutting the wall back. So she's actually doing the actual trim right now.
Sorry. Went to your face.
Nope, nothing's happening.
Let's see.
Good? Yeah. Okay. She'll be okay.
Just a little dirt. Yeah.
Let me try to lift the hook up for you.
She's like, I got it here. I got it. I'll help.
That's a huge difference. Okay, one more lap.
Good girl. Almost done. Yes, almost done. That was gross.
Good? Yep. All right.
Oh, now she hasn't put it down. She's like, okay.
This was Cami's last hoof. This is kind of what it looked like before. It was pretty messy. And then this is what it looked like when she was finished. She does a phenomenal job, and we can't thank Cami enough for taking care of our horses and being patient with them for sure. So this is Charlie in the stock now. He was completely different than Cami was. He went right up in the stock, yielded his foot, and just stood there the whole time and didn't fuss very much. So he was a completely different horse in the stock as opposed to Cami, where she just fought the whole time. So this is Charlie's manicure and pedicure.
Okay, you got cross.
He's already got this one relaxed.
You get that one?
He's already got it relaxed.
Yeah.
Come on, son. There you go. That was easy. Oh, wait. Oh, Ellen.
I pulled it all the way through, didn't I?
Oops, sorry.
Yeah, he doesn't even care.
He doesn't.
He doesn't care.
He's pretty freaking relaxed. This is awesome, Charlie.
You are a good boy. There we go.
Charlie, what's that tension look like? He's over
He's
there.
good.
He's good.
This is amazing.
Yeah. This is how it's supposed to
This
be.
is how it's supposed to work. Where the horse just is like, oh, okay, it's a stock. I'm gonna be good. I know what's coming.
Since this is a very long procedure and it takes a very long time, she was here probably half the day on Saturday to do just 3 horses. So I thought I'd speed this up for you so you could actually see what happens, but not have to spend 4 hours watching a video. So that's the piece that actually she trimmed off. It actually came off all in one piece. So it's a pretty big piece of hoof right there.
That is a big foot, sir.
Oh, you're a guy with both that big.
Yeah.
That bucket.
So how deep do you actually go on the frog part?
You can, I mean, you really, I haven't been trimming other than just back here, these thick pieces.
Right.
Because if you go too deep, they will bleed.
Gotcha.
I mean, it's
Right, and that's why.
you just kind of, you can kind of tell. I don't even know how to describe it. I guess I've just done it so much, it's just, kind of just.
Yeah. Everyone's like, you gotta pick the horse's feet out. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Clean out, like where I am right there. You know, and.
Just don't go
and all
too
that,
deep?
Yeah. His frogs aren't really bad. They're like the, you know, I'll trim that big chunk off of there.
Gotcha.
Just kind of have them. Okay.
Yeah, you flinched. I wonder what that feels like to them. Feels about like us getting our nails cut.
I don't know.
They'll feel stuff in here, but this shouldn't. You know,
The outside, yeah.
Because you can watch them walk, and when they step on something they don't like, they won't step down. They'll move over around it.
He's been holding.
That was a lot, sir.
After she does the bottom, we bring their hooves to the front of the stock so she can get the edges and make sure that they're all rounded and pretty. Out of all the horses, I wish they would be like Charlie because he was so easy in the stock, didn't care, didn't fuss, and didn't struggle. So this was Charlie's day with the farrier.
Yeah. Good boy.
Buddy. You're all done.
Good job, Charlie.
So this is Freya in the stock. She was just like all the other mares. She did not like being in the stock and did not like having her hooves messed with. But we got them done and got them taken care of, and she's all pretty now as well. So this is just a little example of one of the horses not wanting to yield their feet. This is still Freya, but this is just some of the struggles that we have to go through to get them to yield their feet. Honestly, their hooves and their legs are very heavy, and trying to wrestle with them to get their legs up is an exhausting day. So we did 3 horses one day and then did 3 horses the next day, the next weekend. So this was just part of that process.
So Aleene didn't want to yield her feet, or didn't want to get into the stock last week, so we're trying to do this outside this week. So we're doing Farrier service.
Come on, Jules.
Easy. Got it? Easy, Mom. Sorry, my arms are no, you're good. You are good. There we go. Okay. All right. It's FedEx.
FedEx, it's okay. It's FedEx.
Are her frogs long? They look long. Okay, we've got long frogs.
Aleene's frogs were really long on all 4 of her hooves, so she was having a little bit of, probably having some issues. She wasn't really limping yet, but she was about to if we would have waited any longer. So we're really glad that Cami was able to come out and get their feet taken care of, because they were in desperate need of getting some attention. So Aleene had so much growth in her hooves that she was having a hard time actually cutting through the wall of her hoof. So Corey was helping her here just to try to give her a little extra leverage, because she had such thick walls of her hooves.
Up in here where the parts we're cutting out, she's just,
It's bruised?
Yeah.
Is it because they're so long?
probably stress and
Get them on a regular schedule, and this
yeah, I think we'll lose all that.
There we go.
Good job, girl.
Since Aleene had so much outgrowth on her hooves, some of her hoof wall was actually bruised. So nothing to be concerned about, and it was fine the next time, but we just can't let their hooves get that long anymore, because they're such big animals and they put so much weight on their hooves that they need to be taken care of on the regular basis. So now that we have them on a regular routine, they're not having those issues anymore. So the pink on the outside of the left of her hoof is where the bruising was taking place. This is a before and after picture. Her right hoof in this picture has been trimmed and her left one has not. But this is what they both looked like after they were done.
Come on, babe. Oh, so much better.
Aleene was walking so much better after she got out of the stock and was realizing that her hooves were actually trimmed and she could walk normal again. Sophie and Miley did about the same as everybody else, so this brings us to Anna. This was the first time that we've ever tried to do anything with Anna in the stock, or try to get her in the stock, so she was definitely apprehensive about going in and did not want to go in for us. Since she was being so stubborn, we decided to get some Alpha Pro for her and try to coax her into the stock with some Alpha Pro.
be a giraffe. It's okay. Should I need to come up here? Okay, I'll come up here.
It's hot, it's so fresh. It's so fresh. Look at that. Let her back up. No, let her get up here. Come on. Good girl. We can get a chain behind her, pull that front. Get a chain behind her, pull the front. Front. Yeah, you did pull the front, did you? Listen.
Good girl.
Maybe I'll hold the bull.
So we got her up into the stock and got her locked down. So Corey's putting the back straps on her so she can't back out of the stock. And then there's also straps that go over the top of her, over her back. And then there's also ones that go under her belly. We made sure that we did this really slow so she wasn't scared or wasn't jumpy or anything like that. But she did really well once we got her in there. Trying to get her hooves done in the stock though was a different story.
She shifted is what she did, so that's fine. Yeah, if we just get the front ones done today, I'll be happy. I don't know if she's gonna be able to pick up that back one or not. We're gonna try.
So what you can't see in the video is right before she started struggling in the stock, she actually started shaking and she just couldn't hold that leg up. And then after that, she just wouldn't yield it to us anymore. We tried to move it forward to the front of the stock and she wouldn't give it to us that way either. And she just put her foot down for the most part and was not going to let us do anything to it.
Ooh, look at that. Pretty girl.
Since she wouldn't yield her foot back and she wouldn't bring it to the front of the stock, we tried to move it off to the side just so we could get the toe part trimmed that she was tripping on, but that didn't work either. So we took Anna out of the stock just because we knew that we weren't going to be able to do her hooves inside the stock. So we came up with another solution. So Cami was able to take a sawzall and just go around the outside of her toe and get that extra hoof wall taken down that she was tripping on, and she just ran her sawzall blade right into the ground and got that toe taken off. So we actually came up with a solution and it worked out really well.
Yeah, look at that.
Because I can kind of run it underneath there and take some of that too a little bit.
Look at those pretty feet. Yeah.
Okay.
She's moving pretty good. Her legs, the swelling is going down in her legs. You can actually see what would technically be her ankle. You can actually see that, and we haven't been able to see that since she got here. So that's a really good sign that her legs are doing much better and that she's actually starting to gain some strength in those back legs. She still has a really long way to go, and she is a mess because she was standing out in the rain. So we're going to get brushed this afternoon. Wanted to say thank you again to everybody that has sent us gifts of Alpha Pro to the horses. We truly appreciate your support. It's really overwhelming and we really can't thank you enough. Hope you enjoyed this video and make sure you subscribe to our channel so you don't miss anything that's happening here around the farm.
Thank you so much for watching.